Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour, and I got Mr. Dave sitting off to my right.
Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah, you. No Kevin again. He is off lumbering around somewhere, and if you know where he's at, please let us know. We're trying to fucking find him. And if you can see on camera, we have two returning guests, Mr. Emery Pager from Scrubbies, and Mr. Chuck Jennings, who was on here with the Scabs, but he is representing his own One Black Mutt Brewing. So welcome back to the Central PA Board, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
We're happy to have you back in studio. It's been quite some time since we both had you on. Season 2, which is where we're in season 4, that was well over a year ago. You were episode 2, I think, of that year.
Wow.
And you were episode 12, our St. Patrick's Day last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We had a lot of beer that day.
We did. We did. We keep bringing that one up. You remember that? Oh, no, you don't.
I don't remember that one because I wasn't here.
Yeah, that was a night. It's like, well, shit, we each brought 4. Well,
yeah, it was like
all right, we'll just clean the table off and reload them up.
It's like a 4-hour episode, wasn't it?
Recording wise.
That wasn't St. Patty's Day, was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
When
you don't remember because I had to walk you home.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Right. Why didn't you drive me home? I mean, it's like, the distance.
It would have clogged up. It would have just been, short distance. It wouldn't have been enough to burn the carbon off the car.
I see. Speaking of cars, I like what's sitting in your garage.
Oh, that's 72?
Yeah. I enjoy seeing that.
Well, I did take you for a ride in it, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in it. I even got pictures as proof.
I think last week when I went through, got it out and took it out, I think I lit her up a little bit going down the street.
You did.
All right, enough of us. It is raining again. Every time we record, I think it rains. But, guys, what's been going on since we had you on and talked to you guys last?
A lot has changed. I'm not saying we're bigger. I'm hoping we're better. Maybe. A lot of growth, but from the outside, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. It's more internal stuff, figuring things out, becoming more efficient, that type of stuff.
And you guys work together on certain things, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. We do. So Chuck and I collab every January. Chuck is one of our bartenders, and his wife Sharon also bartends for us, which is awesome. They're great to have behind the bar and great people. But Chuck had brought in this IPA one day. And he shared it with me. I was like, this is really good. And I always like Chuck's beer anyhow. It's all very solid. I said, well, we should probably think about making this. And it was called Falcon's Prey.
Falcon's Prey. Yeah.
That is a good one, too.
Yeah.
I like
that. So we made it, and it was a huge hit. That was 2 Januaries ago. So we made it again this past January. Went over really well again. But now I think what we're going to do, I'm not sure. I haven't really discussed this with Chuck yet, but my idea is to make make January Chuck's month. So his choice, whatever
Something
he
different.
wants to make, we'll scale it and brew it on the equipment, put it out in the tap room, and let it rip.
I mean, Falcon's Prey gets... a
does.
lot of people ask for Falcon's Prey. When's it coming back? When's it coming back? So
it is a good one.
But, we might change it up this year.
I like variety.
Yeah.
So.
I think when I came down in December,
I think we still had it.
Had it on
yeah.
tap.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
and
goes over well.
What have you been doing?
Just
Home brewing?
Oh, you
Just
retired?
home brewing. Yep, retired last October. So yeah,
Oh,
it's just I don't know how I had time to work, but trying to brew as much as I can. So
That's awesome.
getting caught up on the house, all that stuff that you left go for years.
So being retired, are you working harder than you have before?
I don't know how I had time to work. Put it that way. Yeah. I'd like to get over to Emery's a little bit more on brew days, but yeah, once I get caught up, hopefully I can get over there a little more.
That's cool. So, still in the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah. Loving it.
And
Great
like,
place to be.
You're talking about getting bigger and growing, but your footprint, you can't grow.
Well, yeah, right. But I think when I was first on here, we had 10 beers.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got 14. So that in itself is kind of a feat as far as production
Yes.
and storage and everything else goes, and just planning your production schedule. So that's changed quite a bit, which, like I said, gives us more variety, keeps me very busy. Really, I guess that's really it. The growth is more production oriented.
That's good. And,
Yeah.
I think as a brewer, you grow and you're learning your system each and every time, and it makes it more efficient, and you're putting out a better product. Am I right?
You are changing all the time. Hopefully, you're putting out a better product. Like, you never know. At least I never know, because I'm always reading, I'm always researching, and I'm finding conflicting ideas of how to do things. So I try them all out and see how it goes. But yeah, I've become a lot more efficient, and that helps a ton.
And this is, again, if I can't remember, this isn't your full-time job?
Oh no, this is.
This is your full-time job now. Okay.
I'm all in. Had to be. I probably said this last time. I don't see how you could not be all in. It just takes too much.
Are you still doing your marketing stuff on the side?
I still do all of our marketing, all our inventory, all our ordering. Jess is a big help in the tap room and with other things. But for the most part, I'm doing, a lot of the hands-on stuff.
That's good.
It's a lot of hats.
It's a fun little place to go.
Thanks,
You
man.
get down there and grab them, take your friends, go down and bowl a little bit, go
Yeah.
to the window, order a couple beers and drinks that you have alcoholic beverages for. That
We got them all. Just like all the other PA licenses, we carry the PA products, all the gins, vodkas, bourbons. We do all kinds of stuff. Right now, our flavored margaritas are hot, so come get one of those.
Oh, there we go.
That was Rachel's idea. Shout out to Rachel.
And I think Jason spends some time in there. 'Cause
Jason comes in for trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Colton both come in with Aaron, and I can never remember their friend's name, but they come in regularly for that, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's I think every time we go out, I always there's Jason. And we had Colton on here not that long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Gosh, did he still open up compared to the first time when we had him on with
Yeah.
Tim? I mean,
Yeah.
he was just like a
Four
deer.
words.
I remember that episode. He wore a hoodie.
Yeah.
He looked like the Unabomber or something.
I did watch the last
Yeah.
one he was on. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He did a really
Yeah.
good job, and still waiting on that perfect bride for the perfect
Yeah.
wedding day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, his wedding day.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got it all planned out.
And so, new products, anything that you got gonna that you besides? I mean, why that we're recording this is coming out on the 10th. We got Brewkids coming up,
Good. Yeah.
and you guys are both usually at these beer festivals.
Yep,
Bring
we'll
your
be
Nerf
there.
gun.
We'll be there.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yep.
I gotta remember that. I gotta remember to bring the Nerf guns.
Nerf guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find those bullets in all my stuff.
Yeah.
Every time I pack up to go to a festival, I'm like, oh, there's another
Yeah.
bullet.
Couple
It's always a good time.
Yeah,
Brewkids
that's fun.
is a good time.
Well, we got something sitting here, and it's a non-beer.
Yes. Well, you were asking about something new. So we have, we call it the Lebowski line. So it's pretty obvious naming scheme, I suppose. Jess came up with the idea. I was like, well, what should we call these? And she's like, well, it's teas, it's lemonades, it's Kool-Aids. It should be like an Arnold Palmer, but name it after the Lebowski guys. So that's what we did. I don't know if you can see these on camera. You're going to have to tell me how we're doing up there.
That's up. We can see him.
Too high. So this is Jeffrey. Jeffrey is a cherry, for lack of a better term, Kool-Aid, I suppose, like a fruit drink. So these are still, it's a seltzer base, and then we dose them up with whatever flavor we want to do. So we've got teas, which is original, raspberry peach, not together. Those are three separate. Lemonade would be, which we have here somewhere. Yeah, this is Donnie. Donnie is the lemonade line. He's pink lemonade and original. And then for the fruits, we've got the Jesus, which is the grape, which is what we have here. Obviously, Jeffrey. And then Maud is a fruit punch.
Wow.
So the reason we ended up doing these things is for us, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with the whole PA rule thing. Since we are located within a bowling alley, you can take our products out to the bowling alley, but you can't take a gin and tonic or a glass of wine or a Windridge cider or a Yingling out to the bowling alley.
Wow.
And that was a real problem for us forever. You'd tell somebody that, And they're like, oh, yeah, I got it. And then before you know it, they're down on lane 1 drinking their, vodka cranberry. You got to go, bring them back in. So we developed these just to give non-beer drinkers something to drink on our non-licensed property. And they're great. Okay, I know this is a beer show, and I know we're all beer guys, and believe me, I'm a beer guy. I like these. They are what they are. They taste like Kool-Aid. Well. Which one you got? We'll do whichever one you want to do first.
Jesus.
Do the Jesus.
We'll do that one.
All right, so this is the Jesus.
Yep.
It's a seltzer.
Yeah, flat seltzer. It's a still. So not fizzy.
ABV are we looking?
We're talking 5.
So this is.
Yeah.
Well, that's what my cream ale is. 5%. So.
Oh yeah, it'll get you there.
So cheers to the Jesus and the Lebowski line.
Cheers.
It's Kool-Aid.
Drinking great Kool-Aid.
It's Kool-Aid, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And they go over well,
Yeah.
They go over well with the bowlers.
Well, it's one of those things where one person has one and then everybody has one. They're like, oh, what are you drinking? And a lot of them are really pretty, like the pink lemonade at a festival. People start drinking that, and then you just start seeing it everywhere. And my favorite is like a fruit punch at a festival. That looks great because it's bright red. And then you start seeing everybody walking around with like red mouths. I'm like, oh, that's me over there. I got that one. Yeah. So they're fun. They're, great after on a hot day outside. I don't know, whatever you just got done doing.
Well, I got what is it, the penny?
This is the pink lemonade.
This is
the Jesus.
No, this is the Donnie.
The Donnie.
This is the Donnie.
This is the Donnie, right?
The Donnie pink, yeah.
The Donnie.
Pink, the pink lemonade.
Should be odorless, and it is.
God damn.
So they're fun, and people love the cans. A lot of people come in, they buy them just for the cans, and they're all pre-canned on site, so you can walk in, grab them, get out.
And you came up with this?
Mm-hmm. I drew the labels. They are 100% legal, as far as I know. I'm waiting for like Steve Buscemi to come in and say something, but that's really about the only thing we can get in trouble for.
If you get Steve Buscemi to come down, let me know.
I know.
I want to be down.
That'd be a heck of a problem to have.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're very refreshing. Very
Dangerously
refreshing.
good.
Oh,
well, yeah. That could be a problem. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, young people love them.
Now, do you serve them out of a tap, or are they strictly cans?
We do. When we have a tap available. Being a beer guy, I prefer to put real beer on tap, but if we have the room for it, I will definitely throw one of these up, and it goes even faster on tap.
Yeah. So does that add more carbonation to it then?
No, not really, because really whenever you're pushing something through a keg, you're not adding CO2 to the product. You're just kind of pushing it down, so it doesn't really affect it. Over time, it could, but I've not had that problem. Yeah. And if it does, people like that. They're like, "Oh, that's got a little bit of tingle to it." And I'm like, "Yeah, tingle in my nose." Yeah.
That shit's good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very good.
Don't drink too much of it. It's real sugary.
Well, I'm going to go back to. I'm not going to say you switched me, Emery, but
no, I'm not trying to switch you. No. This is an alternative.
I think it's a great idea that you come up with something other than beer to put on your tap, or bringing in somebody else's product outside.
Well, and we were, and that was working. But like I said, it was twofold: trying to reel it in, keep it where it had to be, but also trying to stock it. Like, trying to keep Windridge ciders, available all the time. Like that was kind of a pain in the butt. So this makes it. I'm in total control of this. Like if we don't have it, it's my own fault.
When you had people come in and they were bowling and we carried twisted tea for a while.
We did.
And they'd be like, I want a twisted tea. Well, it can't go out on the bowling alley.
Yeah.
So they'd have to stand there and drink it before they would go out. This gives them an alternative. Yeah. Shotgunning. But yeah, now they can get this, take it in the can. We'll put a cup of ice with it if you want. And
I think it's awesome.
They can take it right to the lane. So yeah, it works out great. Along with our seltzers, Emery does just a regular seltzer base, and then we can flavor that with any of the flavorings that we have.
It's actually the same base. So I make a great big vat of this stuff. Half of it goes still to the Lebowskis. The other half I carbonate. That goes on tap, and then we've got all those Amaretti fruit puree pumps.
And you can make
oh my gosh, what do we got? 8 flavors?
Probably.
If you count the ones 10. We're not using, it's only like 12.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so those are, I mean, it's really versatile.
And that goes over well too. A lot of people like it. They're not beer drinkers. They'll drink a seltzer. You know.
Yeah, it's
Same
funny.
thing.
You start something like this, trying to make the best beer you can, and then you end up making sours. No offense to the sour drinkers, I don't like them, but I got to make them. And then you're putting all the effort into this. This was really difficult to nail down. You know, like the first 2 batches stunk. They were horrible. I had to dump them. You know, and you're talking
That
80
sucks.
gallons. You know, I'm small. It's 80 gallons, but still, they have to dump that. And then, yeah,
Still a lot of product.
Yeah. The iced teas. You struggled with the iced teas for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Now.
Because I think when we had Dover Brewing on here, they take something like a seltzer base or a hard tea to these brew festivals, and they go over well because not everybody there is. You know, you're bringing your spouse; they might not be the beer drinker.
Sure. Yeah.
I thought about taking it to Brewkids, but that's a beer festival, and I don't really want to do that. But we've seen it. You know, it flies.
Maybe I would put some in a can and just keep a cooler there in case somebody wants to try something different. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
What's your plans? I mean, you got your stuff already selected for Brewkids?
Brewkids already. I have to keg tomorrow. Keg 1 tomorrow, and probably Sunday or Monday I'll keg the second one.
We won't reveal it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I'm bringing something new out at Kentucky Common. Going to bring that along. So that's going over well with the people who have tried with Sean. Sean, yeah, he's begging Emery to brew that one. So
that might be a January beer.
It might be. It might be.
Kentucky Common. So
Kentucky Common.
You're going like along with its typical English ale, right? Or is that completely something? Am I off track?
If you look at BJCP, they say it's a red cream ale or a red ale. It's darker, very malt forward. I use some chocolate rye in it. Gives it a little bit of a chocolate note to it. And then I have an IPA that I'm going to bring along. It's called Not What You Think, CBD. There's no CBD in it. It's got Columbus Bravo and Denali hops in it. So, so that's a West Coast. Leans more towards the West Coast side. So,
yeah, talking to Mark and that from Dover Brewing, they're unfortunately he had to give up his dream.
Oh, didn't know that.
Of doing this. So he was asking me, do you want to take over and the jockey box? I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that.
No?
No. When we go to a festival, we're recording. I ain't
Yeah,
got
that's
time
true.
to
Yeah.
beer.
Hey, you don't have enough going on. You add that in there.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a shame that he has to forgo his dream and see what happens. But they are going to make an appearance at Brewkids.
Good.
So do you guys get a lot out of these festivals? What do you get out of it?
Oh, they're fun.
Well, I know they're fun. I mean,
Yeah.
especially Brewkids.
Yeah. Most of them are fun. I mean, it's a good time. Go ahead, Chuck. You answer that one.
Okay. I like to do them just for the feedback. Being a home brewer, it's just one way for me to know if I'm really know what I'm doing. You get friends and relatives that taste it, and they'll always, oh, it's good, it's good, it's good. I always tell people, be honest. If you don't like it, tell me you don't like it. Right. But at a festival, you get true feedback from people. I mean, they'll say, it's just not what I care for. And that's fine.
And that's kind of when I have people like you guys in here and other brewers, and I got something on tap, I want your feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
What do you guys think? That's
Sure.
makes me feel good. If it's good, if it's not, all right, need to adjust the recipe.
Yeah. I got my taste testers. Emery's one. He usually always
We
always
go back and forth.
always can something up for him to try. Any kind of feedback. It's
Twist
great.
his arm pretty hard, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes.
We're thirsty.
I think the festivals are fun. When we got invited to the first Brewkids. I think we had a blast doing that, even though it failed trying to do a live feed.
Yeah.
That didn't go over too well.
Is that 2 years ago?
It was rainy that day too.
It
was
rain
a
off
damp
and
day.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like we learned our lesson. Well, Yorktoberfest was a
York
completely damp
Oktoberfest
way.
was a just disaster. Yeah, that was a disaster.
We learned our lesson. We'll just record and I'll put it all out at one shot. I'm not doing any more live feed from that. It's just it's too hard. You need that steady signal for internet, and if everybody else is on it, Wi-Fi's not going to cut it. I think everything that since we got to know you guys, I mean, I remember having Emery sit down at that first Brewkids, and I said, "This isn't a kid show." He goes, "Oh, that's just fucking awesome."
We're allowed to cuss on this thing? Fuck yeah.
I think that's the best part of what we do, Dave, is we're getting to meet everybody, and we've mentioned it numerous times. We're a part of this little community now.
Yeah.
It's a great community.
It is.
It's a great community. Yeah.
And we can share stuff off. Like if I'm got questions about trying a homebrew, I got people I can call.
Yeah.
So I think it's been great. I know. What's the future hold? I mean, you're retired now?
Yeah.
I'm working on them.
Yeah.
Not going to do brick and mortar?
No.
For one black mutt?
No.
Okay.
No.
I actually gave up.
If I was younger.
Before he was retired, I was like, "Oh, Chuck, you're retiring. You could do this."
Yeah.
But does it make you feel good, like when he wanted you to do the Falcon spray?
No, it does. It does. It just, yeah. I mean, the first year we did it, we kind of had a big event, But
yeah, we did. Well, we had a heck of a time getting that beer done that year.
Yes.
Because we had December 2nd was slated, and I got COVID.
Yeah.
So we had to wait for that to pass. And then we had another brew date set.
Yeah,
and I had already milled all the grains. I had everything out. And Chuck's like,
yeah, I got sick at work.
I'm not feeling
Ended up going home sick. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did not get to brew that one.
So, yeah, we didn't do that one together. But last year we did. Last year we did. That was a fun day.
I brewed with him at his place. He's more of a...
Yeah.
And I like when Sign of the Horse offered to brew one of mine, and I gave him the Wee Heavy. We had a fun day being in their brewery doing it. But just to go to Sign of the Horse,
see it on tap,
and see my stuff on tap, and check it in, I was like, "Oh, this is weird."
See everybody else drinking it.
Yeah, and I, like when we released it at the Winter Brew Fest down there at the Double Barrel, I was I think that first person we were over there, I'm like standing there next to the Sign of the Horse, and said, "Hey, did you try that Wee Heavy?" No, but all right, I'll try it. And I was sitting there recording with my phone, like, "What'd you think?" "Oh, it's pretty good." I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, the first year you did a keg swap with Jason, because Jason had Falcon spray the very first year. Yeah, had that, and he put that on tap on a Friday. Cool. And my wife and I went in, and the guy beside us, we got to talking, and he found out that was my recipe. Of course, then he had to tell everybody that was there, "You got to try this. You got to try this." And yeah, it was cool just to sit there and see other people's reactions.
Yeah, because we've run into you in there a couple times.
Yeah.
I think that's what's. Even though I have my favorite spots, and I don't get down to you enough because you're in Redline.
Well, there's some distance there.
And when I do come down, if I hit Sign of the Horse. Now the other week I went down to Black Cap, but they weren't even open. Where in the heck did I wind up? I don't even remember.
Shine Shack.
Well, we've done that. Yeah. We've stopped it. We stopped at Jimmy. Is that still going? Is he doing pretty good with it?
Yep.
Yeah. Because last time we had him on, which was by luck, we had Bill from Old Republic come in, and 2 cars pull up, and I see Jimmy get out. I'm like, "Oh wow, Jimmy! I've been trying." "Yeah, I know." That was his response, but he was a great guest. I mean,
he was. Yeah.
Actually, Bill and him want to do another episode and talk about the process of the difference between distilling liquor and moonshine and maybe like a wine or a mead, and talk about the processes of it. I'm like, let's do it.
We've done a couple of brew crawls in Redline too. Jimmy's the Shine Shack put the last one on, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah, so they do some beer crawls in Redline where they.
That's Carl. He's organized.
Try to hit all the local places, even the tavern. So.
And we have a date with Black Cat to record with him.
Good.
That's a fantastic looking place he's got.
Yes,
it's beautiful. He's done a good job with that. Yeah. Dave, you haven't said a whole lot. What the hell's going on?
No, I'm just mesmerized by all the pictures and stuff over here.
You like Dory? Shiny?
Yeah, it's shiny.
He's waiting for an IPA.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
See, Emery remembers.
Can't wait to get on my hands on one.
I bet you a good one.
Yeah.
Nice and happy.
That's why I brought a dunkel. I was thinking of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
so this is. Go ahead, Chuck. Tell us about what we're going to be drinking here.
This is a dunkel. This is not my recipe. This was the American Homebrew Association did their big brew day, and they put out, I think, 3 different recipes you could brew on that day, and one of them was a dunkel. And I had never done a dunkel before, so.
Now, do you have to lager a dunkel?
No.
So you're
I
using
didn't lager it,
Okay,
no.
you like the ale yeast and all that stuff that you're not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look to see what I used in that, but
So it's a straight Munich dunkel then?
it's
is
just
it?
just a straight out dunkel. Yep.
And is this on Untapped that they can find it?
I don't think I have this on Untapped.
Well, I know where they can find it.
Yeah.
We'll just share Chuck's
Yep.
information.
It's a secret knock on the back door, so you got to know the code. But, yeah. There you go.
So just explain a little bit about the difference of a dunkel.
It's a dunkel's a German lager. It's
Okay.
basically what it is. It's just a little darker than a normal lager, so a little bit more malty. Has a little bit more malt flavor to it.
Which is right up our alley. We like that malt
Yep.
forward hit, and
Yep.
that's kind of that with when I started doing the home brewing with my own stuff. Because I can't lager, and you and I have talked about trying to figure
Yep.
out a lagering tank.
Yep.
Sticking
Stop down.
to a lot of traditional English style beers, European style beers that you don't need to lager them. They're beautiful without it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Man from Dunkel.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. I do get that chocolate note out of that.
You do.
Yep, I'm getting some chocolate note.
It's malt forward.
It's very
malty.
good.
Very malty.
Yeah.
This is right up our alley.
It's like
It is.
5%, right around
good.
5%.
So combine that with some
Almost,
grape and pink lemonade.
Oh yeah.
almost like a little bit of a rye flavor in it, if you can taste it.
Well, that's that. It's probably the ale. You're getting that dryness on it. Ales, you're supposed to get a dry
Yeah.
finish, correct?
Yeah, this is Nova Lager yeast. I used the Nova Lager. It's the first I ever used for that. Fermented at 66.
Okay.
So,
And I think you and I had talked like a couple times, like, and you were like, "Come on down and see what I built for my lagering thing."
yeah.
And with Mark and them, unfortunately, not being able to pursue what he wants, I'm getting his Keezer.
Oh, there you go.
We can
Yeah.
use that.
So now it's a big Keezer. I think it holds 7 tanks.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Like 7.
7 kegs.
Yep,
Yeah.
7
7
6
cornies.
cornies. So now I will have a lagering tank, I guess.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you can use that.
So
Or you can build a separate one. I got 2 separate ones, so.
well, you're just trying to spend more of my money. My wife wouldn't be happy. This is good. This is
This is
But,
Man from Duck. So is this Ilya or Napoleon?
You got me. You got me.
I'm sorry. I thought that would be a good joke.
Which episode did we talk about the hell is that freaking movie? The Frenchman standing at damn it. One of the funny ones that did History of the World and stuff. Monty Python.
Was that Mutt? It was,
What episode did we bring that up and we talked about that?
I don't know. It had to have been
Oh my God.
In Search of the Holy Grail.
In Search of the Holy Grail. That's
Yeah.
it.
In Search
I
of the
forget
Holy
what
Grail.
episode we had. Dave went off on it, and then so we're in baseball season,
Truth.
and I know you're an Orioles fan.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not.
No, I'm not.
No, you're
he's not.
Cleveland.
That's
There you go.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Go O's for me. Yeah. Go O's.
You're Orioles, and I remember
I'll represent.
CNC are big Orioles fans.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Who else? That's right. You're all from Cleveland. They got the best record in baseball
They
right now.
did.
Yes,
Well,
they
they
do.
did yesterday. I don't know. They lost yesterday, so keep counting.
They got a really good team.
Fun to watch.
I'm hoping, even being a Yankee fan, I'm hoping for Jose Ramirez.
He's awesome.
He's awesome. I mean, he could have got paid anywhere else, and he stayed in Cleveland.
He's just good for the team. You know, he's got spirit, spunk, no ego. Just kind of what you want. Big bat,
Good role model.
hustles.
Good leader.
I mean, he's never lazy.
No.
You know, and I think the young people see that and they're like that. And Josh Naylor,
Yes.
he's a big guy. He's hustling all the time. You know, these guys are role models.
I remember seeing Josh Naylor. I was like, who is this guy?
He was scrawny when he started, and now he's
bulked up.
yeah.
first baseman right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His brother's the catcher, Bo.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's awesome. And the Orioles got a great team this year.
Young.
I ain't even going to mention
Young.
the Yankees because I'm not holding my breath. I'll be dead before they probably win another World Series.
You never know.
Yeah.
We'll all be in the postseason. Should be.
I've always said I don't care where the Yankees finish as long as it's head of Boston.
Yeah.
You got that this year, I think.
Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah,
over
Boston's
It was
kind
like
of
6 games back, something like
Yeah,
that.
but they've kind of given up. They traded a lot away here the last couple of weeks. Boston did. So
Yeah, since I have YouTube TV, they did away with my baseball MLB network, and I was like, God damn, I don't get to watch all my MLB Tonight and all this stuff. So I'm being busy. I forget it. And they're getting the local stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
they carry the Phillies network. That's about all I can see on YouTube network.
We get the Pirates at the tap room
Do you?
this year. Didn't have it
Pirates
last year.
started off really good.
Oh, great. Yeah, they started out great.
They got that with Skeens. He's freaking phenomenal pitcher.
yep, very young.
Yeah.
They're
Very young.
6
Started
out.
the All-Star game. So
Yeah, he did. He's great. Yeah, we're not into football. We're not talking the fucking Pitt Panthers.
It's too early for football.
Why not?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's too hot. Too hot for
It's too-
football.
It's too early.
There'll be plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
I don't even get excited about it until almost September, and and they start preseason. What in the middle of June now or something?
Yeah.
Gets
Actually,
earlier and earlier.
They did away with all of the.
They
all
did
of the
away with a
games.
lot of preseason, didn't they?
They shortened it
because they
for
went
the
to
extended.
the 17 game season.
There's still 4 preseason games though, isn't it? It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you know when
Is
I
there
get?
4?
You know when I get excited about
so.
the NFL?
After the
Every
Super
day
Bowl.
that ends in Z. That's when I get excited about the NFL.
Yeah, I could tell that you're what's that? The AFL, aren't you? Yeah.
AFL, yeah, that's
the
long. It's like
American-
1960s. But I enjoy baseball. I love it. Even the Revs are doing really good this year. They won the first half.
Followed that.
I think they're battling with Lancaster Barnstormers, even though they changed their name. They're
Changed
battling
their
for the
name.
second
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
But
What?
What was the reason?
Yeah, they're
for
the
that?
Stormers now.
the
It's just the
Stormers.
Stormers.
They're just
Come
the
on.
Stormers.
Yeah.
Like the barn people were offended.
I
Probably
guess.
somebody got offended somewhere.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
You guys watching the Olympics?
Only when I
some.
have to.
I love the
Some.
Olympics. Every 4 years I
watch
get,
the
well,
Olympics.
every 2 because the winter and summer are now offset. And the winter's more of my favorite ones, but I love the Olympics. My wife watches the gymnastics, so we were watching the event finals last night, and I come home and said, "You want to know the results?" No. You want to know the results? I'll tell you what happens. And then when it got to the end with the floor exercise, I knew the result, and it was Simone Biles took silver. And there was a Romanian that was in the bronze position. I'm like, well,
Right.
shit, that's not the result that I got.
yeah.
And then they changed it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I felt so bad for the Romanian girl that when they put it up, she was already excited that she won the bronze, and then they took it away.
She got
Wasn't it the
disqualified?
only medal that they had
They
in gymnastics?
Ugh.
I think it was.
But what happened was the American coach put an inquiry in that thinking that the judges didn't score Jordan Charles's routine fairly, and they and gave her another 10th, which puts her ahead
Oh
in
my
the.
gosh.
But there was a Romanian that landed her whole routine, and I think she should have got a lot higher. She should have been beat Simone Biles, in my opinion, but. I don't know. I'm not the GOAT, but I enjoy the Olympics. I enjoy all
Dude,
the sports.
I like to watch the different stuff. You know, the
stuff I watch every 4 years.
Stuff you don't see. I mean, it's like, you know, the major broadcast, they do the swimming and track and gymnastics. I like to see the other stuff. You
And
know,
pong.
Like
the surfing and, you know, anything
Yeah.
that's different. I like
like
to see
judo
that.
and taekwondo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a French guy that won
Yeah,
two.
you want-
Yeah.
You know, I tried to watch it. I'm like, this is kind of boring. You know, it's just. Are you going to attack or not? And I was like, come on. But yeah, I get it.
I was going to show you what an attack looked like. If I was 40 years younger.
He did take judo, so
Yeah, right.
I don't doubt that. But that's kind of why I love the Olympics. It's the spirit. You know, they're all there competing, and you're watching stuff you don't watch every day.
Yeah.
Discus,
Hammer throw today.
the hammer throw,
Yeah.
and I'm like.
Discus.
I'm like watching that guys throw that 16-pound hammer ball on a chain, and as many times as they spin around to launch it, I'd have been on my ass. It's like holy shit! And then last night I watched the Sweden go for the pole jump to go after the world record, and he lives in Louisiana, but he's competing for Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swimming. I love the swimming meet. You know, we got some of the best out there, and it's. I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy the Olympics. What we were watching, I was upset with the men's gymnastics all around. Our two guys, they showed them one time on their first apparatus. They were already out of the mix. They didn't show them again after that. All they concentrated was on the three people competing for the
Gold medal, yeah.
And I got up and I left. My wife said, "What?" I'm like, "This is a fucking American broadcast, and they're showing foreigners. They're not showing our guys. I don't care if they're out. We want to watch the Americans compete. They didn't show them. Pissed.
Yeah, I guess it's the way they do it. You know, they only show the medal winners, or not the medal winners, but I mean those
Competing for the gold.
competing for the medals.
And then they took baseball and softball out of the Olympics a couple Olympics ago, and then they instilled breakdancing.
Yeah.
That was yesterday? Or?
I didn't even watch it. Did they even have it on?
I didn't see it, but I heard it was either yesterday or today.
Yeah.
What kind of
What
sport
is
is that? Motion in the garage.
Man, I'm on silence over here. I'm just going to turn it off. If I can figure out how to turn it off, I will.
I don't know. I love the Olympics. I love baseball, and I know football season's coming up.
Yeah, it is, and I'm not as excited about it this year as I was before.
You and I will have our annual Penn State
Pitt rivalry
going on.
When I went to school, that was the rivalry was Pitt and Penn State, and it was fierce. I mean, it was very fierce back at that. Then I think Penn State moved. What is it? Big Ten.
Big Ten.
They went to the Big Ten.
Big Ten, yeah.
And then they had a couple of games, and I don't want to smear the guy, but a certain coach from Penn State, I'm not going to say his name, came out and told the media why he didn't want to play Pitt anymore was because of the fact he says, I cannot make as much money in Pittsburgh as I can somewhere else, so I'm not going to waste the game.
I got an itch.
I noticed. If that's all the bigger number.
You guys got any fall plans coming up? Other than a couple brew festivals coming up.
We have a wing bus coming up. I'm not sure.
You guys, I've seen that. You guys do that every so often down there?
So it's not regular. It's irregular. And it's a hoot. So we've done it. This will be the fourth one. We did it in January, April, maybe June. I can't remember. And it is just a mobile party.
It's a good time.
So Chuck's been on it.
Twice, yeah. I did 2 of the 3, so, yeah.
48 adults. Starts at Scrubby's. You get 4 wings and a beer there. We all get on the bus. Mike Zelger, who runs, one of the brothers that runs the bowling alley, drives the bus to another location, same
An
gig.
old school bus.
Old school bus. 48 adults on
Windows
an old school
don't
bus.
work very well when it's cold.
Yeah. And that's part of the fun.
Kind of sounds like some of Brewery Tours' old buses.
Yeah, so we do that. You go to 4 spots, and usually it's a big party. Everybody hangs out at the end and has a great time.
Finish
So,
up at Scrubby's. and
I did see that, and it intrigued me.
Get on it.
The dates were just not coinciding with what I could do. But we're gonna have to look into that.
It's always a Saturday. The one coming up is September 13th or 14th.
14th.
Whatever the Saturday is, 13th or 14th.
That won't work for me. I'll be in Ocean City Bike Week.
There's a lot going on that week, I think, but we'll probably load the bus. It'll still go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the tickets go fast. The reason we haven't promoted it yet is we don't know where we're going. So we always we have promoted it before without destinations, and then everybody's like, "Well, I'm not buying a ticket if I don't know where I'm going." So we're just waiting.
Is this all your idea?
This is my younger brother's idea.
Oh wow.
So he lives in Cleveland, and they do a wing bus there. In fact, I just got back from Ohio yesterday, and we were talking about our wing bus and the one that he does. Or he doesn't do it; he's just on it. Okay, but it's still
he participates.
He's a participant. Yes. Theirs is entirely different. Theirs is like 10 or 12 bars with one van that and they're close together. So it's one van that just loops around. So you're not moving as a group, but we couldn't really do that. So we decided to take the group and move it around town. Last time we went down to Vortex and Seven, Alecraft, and Gunpowder
Falls. Yeah.
In the past, we're not limiting it to breweries. We've done other bowling alleys like Alley Oops and Suburban. We do golf courses. We've been to
Regent's Glen,
and Bridgewater.
Oh.
Yeah. So this time around, we know. Well, I can't say we know, but we're trying to get Bridgewater in again because that's always been a good one. We're going to try to do like a putting competition there. We had an idea for a Wing Bus Olympics where it would be a different event at every one. So you'd bowl at our place, a putting contest over at Bridgewater, darts or whatever, cornhole somewhere. But, there's so much to do. You can't organize all that.
You got to. You're thinking outside the box. This is creating a different event.
I love to party, and man, this is a party.
Really? I wouldn't.
It is. Yeah.
I like people. I like to party. I like to drink, and this is it. And I like chicken wings. So, if you align with any of that, get on the bus.
That's awesome.
You're going to have a good time.
And then when you get back to Scrubby's, you end up closing the place up there. So it's
calling Uber.
It's been a good time there. So
yeah. Jess organizes the bus. She's like the ringleader. So I actually pay for my ticket because I am on the bus. Jess is kind of working the event, but she's still partaking.
Well, yeah, you got to partake. That's the fun of it.
It's fun. It's a
good time.
I've told people this, like, man, I built a brewery from scratch, and I'm doing this, that, and that. My greatest accomplishment is the wing bus.
I remember when we had you on, you talked about the blood, sweat, and tears that went into taking over that little spot when you found it and basically fell in your lap.
It did, yeah.
And it was right up your alley, no pun intended.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I mentioned this back then, but that was supposed to be the AleSmiths in there. Was that what they were called? I think it was AleSmith.
AleSmith, I think it was the name.
They ended
AleSmith,
up in it's Ed and Chris, and I never really met the other guy. They ended up going into Shadesville in Red Lion, which opened up the door for me to go in there.
It's where Jimmy Jacks is now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
crazy.
Things happen for a reason, they say.
Yeah.
And kudos to what you've accomplished so far.
Thanks, man.
You're doing great things too, just out of your home.
Just trying.
I mean, when we had you on here the last time with the rest of the group, we had a hell of a good time.
We did have a good time. I think everybody brought 4 beers or something like that.
Yeah. I think I remember that. And they're like, "How many beers?" Like, well, I'm figuring 4 people, 1 per. Well, no, we each brought like 3 or 4. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good long night. And that was a Sunday night.
That was a Sunday, yeah.
Some of us didn't have to get up and go to work on Monday.
Some probably did.
Some of us did.
Some of us didn't.
Well,
I was lucky.
You were lucky to get home.
Yeah, but I slept well.
Yeah, you did. It wasn't all that long ago that I had to walk you home again. I forget who was here.
Don't you live next door?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does.
All right.
Yeah. Next door.
That's a long walk.
It's a long
We'll
walk.
take you home tonight.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Sure.
that.
No
Back
problem.
out the driveway, park next door.
I I remember when we were over at Kevin's and my wife drove over.
Tonight she would.
Yes.
It's probably still pouring.
Probably still raining.
That rain.
That was crazy
yes.
downpour.
Speaking of
nice
we
drive
actually
out.
were
Yeah.
out in it. She had a doctor's appointment that I had to take her down at the hospital, and boy, I tell you what, it was scary.
It was pouring.
I'm looking for trees.
It was putting it down.
One wasn't going to come down.
It's kind of why I texted you and said, hey, I'm running a little bit late tonight. Because when I left the shop, I had to take a fleet vehicle back up to Amicksville. And people drive me nuts.
Oh, yeah.
If you were afraid
Slow.
to drive in the rain, pull the fuck over.
Those hazard lights ain't cutting.
Yeah.
Just get off the road.
Yeah, we saw a lot of them on the way up.
I'm like, geez, 25 mile an hour. Come on, people. Come on.
So that was you behind me.
Yes, that was. That is one of my biggest pet peeves is other people on the road when they don't do at least the speed limit.
Yes.
Well, we got a couple more beers sitting here. So this one is yours, Emery. This is a milkshake
IPA. This is Tropical Haze. So it's got lactose in it, obviously. It's not milkshake to the extent that it's lumpy and chunky with chunks of fruit in it and stuff like that.
Not one of those real thick smoothie sours.
No,
right?
this, and I love those, and so does Jess. So up at Evergreen, like those are amazing. I don't even know how they pour those things. Like that would clog my taps up, and I'd have a real problem. And I wasn't even going to call this a milkshake IPA when I made it because it's not that. And when I think of milkshake, I do think of them, and I can't remember the other ones, but those really thick don't even taste like beer anymore. But then I looked up the style, and the style said, well, it's got to be sweet and it's got to have fruit in it. And this does. So I was like, okay, we'll stick with it. We'll call it a milkshake. So this is Tropical Haze. It's pineapple and coconut.
I am getting.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get
I
it.
get the coconut on the nose.
But it is still an IPA. Like it's going to drink. Dave's going to love it. He's going to want the other can for sure.
Sure.
You might like this one. You never
So
know.
what kind of hops are in this one?
This is Bravo and El Dorado, which both have, one is pineapple, one is coconut.
Okay.
And there's a buttload in here, but they're all post boil. Okay, so the idea was to not make it bitter, but to get the flavor out. So this has Whirlpool. This has pounds of hops during fermentation, a couple more pounds after fermentation, all trying to release the flavor and the aroma without the bitterness.
Okay.
And I think it does a pretty good job. I like it. It is truly an IPA, though, and I think a lot of people were expecting something a little more. This is not a good word, but I would say girly would be.
Girly.
You know what I mean? Something more fruity, sweeter, with less bite.
Yep. All right. So here's cheers
Cheers,
to
cheers,
Tropical
cheers.
Haze. That coconut is definitely forefront. Mm-hmm. At the back end, I'm getting a little bit of that pineapple. It's not real hoppy. I'm not getting a lot of hop out of it.
A lot of flavor.
It's not an IBU
lot of
hop character that I'm thinking of. It's more the flavor of the hop is intense.
It's good.
So it's not a true bitterness. It's just got hop character.
Dave almost drank his whole glass.
It isn't bad.
So it's modeled after a pina colada.
And I
Obviously.
get that.
It's,
Yeah, for summer.
Thank you for saying that because that's what I was like. Where's that coconut
Yeah.
pina colada?
Yep.
So, but the thing is, you can't call it a pina colada beer because nobody's going to drink it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't like pina coladas. But if you call, see, this is what we got into.
We got into last time. ESBs, you call them a pub ale.
It's all perception. It's all how you present it. And Jess and I were talking about we can't call that a pina colada beer. It's going to sit there. Nobody's going to drink it.
The Tropical Haze is a good name for it because it's hazy. Mm-hmm. It's got
smells
that
amazing.
coconut and the pineapple. So I've mentioned, and we are not really IPA people. When I started this venture, you wouldn't have been able to get me to drink any IPA. But I find myself now, it's like, shit, I don't want anything real dark. I don't want anything heavy. I'll get an IPA. And I'll pull one out. I could pull this one out and drink it.
I think this is approaching 8%. I can't remember. Do you have them?
Yeah, somewhere around
It's up there.
think
I know it was
it's
supposed to come
it's-
out strong.
It's good. It's really
Thank
good.
you.
That coconut definitely is there. And it's probably what you're after. I mean, you want that. You think of tropics, you're thinking of citrus, coconut trees, palm trees, and all that stuff. That's good. That's a drinkable beer. Holy shit, Dave drank all his beer.
Oh my gosh.
It's very good.
Got another can here somewhere, don't we?
Pat yourself on the back.
There you go.
Thanks.
My typical IPA that I'm not fond of is the one that where when you open the can and you pour it out and you can smell
Smell the hops.
the hops wafting into your face. And I've had quite a few of those for everybody because my son, he really enjoys IPAs. He's big on IPAs. In fact, it was really funny when he was up here. He looked in my refrigerator. I have a refrigerator full of beer, and he just says, "All this beer in here, and not one IPA."
Hey, is there still any of that
Yes.
Labor Day saisons over there?
Yes.
Tell him to drink that. I need the bottles back. He can have that beer.
Oh my gosh, I just got rid of a bunch of bottles.
Yeah. Well, we need to do.
We need to do a beer dump. There's some
beer dump. Yeah.
There's some beers that I pulled out of my fridge for my party, and I take them over to his, and I haven't brought them back yet. This was last year's party, so they've been in his fridge for a year.
It's not as
This
many
could
as
be
there was
marginal.
before because
Your other son's been
my
drinking.
my other son will choke a couple down just to.
Well, the saison was supposed to be a lemongrass. It was a kit beer, and that was the year my dad was sick and was dying. So, it sat in a fermenter way too long with lemongrass on it, and then I bottled it, and it was drinkable at first, but the longer it sat, the worse it got. It's like, all right, we need to do a beer dump,
Yep.
and get rid of it. I don't even know if there's any of the brown ale, but they were all kits. I'm done with kits.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I mean, you guys like my cream ale there.
Sure. Cream ale's very good.
Is that a
Very
kit
good.
or is that a?
That's my recipe, buddy.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Very good.
I'm done kits.
Was a kid. Was a kid. Huh? I'm sorry. No, it was, I'm just messing with you. It wasn't a kid. It was a recipe.
I came up with a cream ale base, and then I call it my Summer Dreams line. Last year was the Orange Dreamsicle, and this year I have this fucking rhubarb. I'm going to use it. Strawberry rhubarb. That was a pie that I hated because I was like, first time I ever had it when I was a kid. Oh, strawberry pie. Why is there celery in my pie?
I've never had it. I've never had a rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb pie.
It's a summer thing. It's an old Amish, German Amish thing here in this area. Strawberry
My mom
rhubarb.
always made that.
Yeah.
My wife makes it. Yeah.
I'll take a
It's the
strawberry
location.
pie.
It's very good.
The location.
Sweet and
This
tart.
area.
Yeah.
It has
Sweet and
different-
tart.
the
They can't grow
flavors of this
rhubarb
area.
in Cleveland.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They can. They
There's a
should.
rule.
They shouldn't grow it.
They
Same.
won't grow it.
But so I'm like, all right, I have this rhubarb, and I've got some strawberry, and make strawberry rhubarb.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you did with your seltzer base, and you guys come up with a base beer, and you can. This craft industry is where you can craft it to what you want to make it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's I love about this stuff.
It's all about experimenting.
Exactly, experimentation.
Yeah.
Like you were saying with homebrew, you want taste testers outside of your family and friends.
For sure.
And that's what you get out of going to these brew festivals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how many times you get asked, where can I get it? Where can I get it?
Yeah. All the time. All the time. Where can I buy this?
You can't buy it.
You can't buy this.
How about you
Goes back to the secret knock on the basement
Yep,
door.
that or hey, I'll be at the next brew festival.
There you go. Yep. Hit me up there.
How many brew festivals you get to go to?
I have 3 lined up this year. We're doing Brewkids. We'll do Yorktoberfest. And then December 1st, we do Patterson Park down in Maryland. It benefits the school down there, and it's a homebrew.
Okay.
It's all home brewers there. I did that for the first time last year. That's another fun event. A lot of people there.
And I think when we talked to you, maybe it was with you or maybe Rehab as well, because it's a homebrew club as well. Is there competitions like national competitions for homebrewers?
There is. American Homebrewers Association does their national, competition where you have to send your beers in. I've never participated in that. I've done the Lancaster.
The Homebrewers Guild over there.
Lancaster does the Iron Brewer competition.
Yes.
I've done that. I didn't get to do it this past year, but I've done that the past several years. And again, it's the judges that judge your beer. I mean, you get some BJCP judges that are rating your beer, and then they have some other people. And again, it's all about the feedback. It's all about the feedback.
Who did we have on here that was training?
Yeah.
Matt Dunn.
Yeah.
From Desperate Times is taken has become a judge.
BJCP
I'm glad
judge.
you remembered
Yeah.
his name because I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could go through that and then be a beer drinker. I think you would critique every beer that you drink and just, this is,
My palate's not that precise.
Mine isn't either, but I would
good.
think when you get to that point, every beer you taste, you'd be like critiquing.
Yeah.
Well, it could use this. You'd be looking for something wrong with every beer.
What impresses me is the guys that can actually take a beer and drink it and tell you what's in it.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah,
That's-
oh yeah, yeah.
That just blows me away.
Yeah.
Those
The same
guys
with a
can do-
wine connoisseur.
Yeah.
I mean, all they got to do is smell it.
Yeah.
This was made by Jose in the small town outside of Chile.
On a Tuesday when, when
This
when he
this
had a
certain
cold.
vintage, Block 7. Yeah.
Carried the
It's
grapes
crazy.
on a donkey.
A donkey name. You don't even know the name of the donkey.
Sitting in the vat where, they were all smashing them with their feet and stuff.
Yeah, Lucy.
Yeah.
Lucille Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I sat and listened to. Well, I had to. I was running the board, but for the Alex did a history on wine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez, talking about the stuff they did with wine back in the 17th century and stuff. It's just like, why would you drink that?
Well, even
nothing
any of that
safer.
stuff. I mean, they created beer because the water content was pretty poor.
Yes,
That's why they did all that, because the water, you couldn't drink the water.
Yeah,
I'd drink it. I drank still water out of the Conewaga Creek. I can tell you what that reaction was like. Wasn't pleasant.
Oh, man.
The Vikings brewed with rocks. That's how they
Yes.
heated rocks up and stuck
Steve
them in the
talked
beer.
about
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did he ever do it?
He did do that. Yes. Yeah. It was a very earthy beer.
It was
Very
funny
earthy
when
beer.
we had you guys on, and he talked about like the heated rocks. There was a small window of a fad that you could go in and they were doing the hot rods or sticks into your beer.
Yeah.
And it was like right after your episode come out that I saw this little fad. It went away quick. It didn't last long.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, shit.
He actually did that. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy brewing. It's a process though. It's 4, 5, 6 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
It's usually 6 hours, start to finish.
And you gotta,
And
have
even on your
something-
scale, it's
same.
about the same. Yeah.
And brewing at home during the summer, it's the groundwater is trying to get that cooled down enough to do it. I brewed this camping when we were at Knoebels the other week.
That's
yeah,
cool.
that's right.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah.
And I had a brilliant idea. I bought a pump, filled a cooler up with water. Like, well, I'll cool this down quick. Nope. That first couple pumps, it blew the water, the ice out. I'm like, oh shit! I guess I should have ran the groundwater through it first.
That's what I do. I have a cooler I fill with 20-pound bag of ice, and
Do you run the ground? Well, see, I'm using the Bruzilla. Do you run the groundwater through it first to get it cooled down to a certain temp, then run it through?
I
the
usually
ice?
fill the cooler. I'll put some water in the cooler to get above I have a pond pump.
Okay.
And I fill it to where I'm above that pump. Then I'll put the ice in it, run it through my counterflow.
See, I don't have a counterflow. That's the big
See,
issue.
I'll get down to. I'll have to watch because I'll have to really dial it back because I can get down to like 58, 59 degrees if I don't slow the flow down. So
Yeah, we were camping. It was funny. I'm like, went up and got 3 bags of ice, filled it with water in the cooler, put the pump on it in the hose, ran it to the chiller, ran it back into the tent into the cooler, and that only dropped 5 degrees, and the ice is all going. Like, shit. All right, groundwater and toes out the back.
Yeah.
And then it got to like 80. All right, go get me some more bags of ice, and then it worked. Then it cooled down. But yeah, I didn't learn my lesson.
Hey,
I
home
thought-
brewing, try and error.
I thought I was smart.
Yeah.
wasn't so smart. But I think that what you guys got going on, home brewing or commercial wise, this is what we're all about. We're here to tell your stories. Hopefully, people come out and they try these new seltzers.
Hope so.
I'm telling you, bring in the Brewkids in a cooler if you don't want to put them on a tap system.
Yeah, I might. We'll see. I'll bring you one.
And we're going to have you guys sit in if we can. We get a chance. It never fails. When we get set up and we look around all the brewers, we try and get everybody that we've had on at least sit in. Problem is when we get Jason on, we can't ever get anybody else on.
We'll just shoot him with some Nerf darts and get him out of there.
And then I think this year there's some new brewers that haven't participated yet. So we're like we try and go out and bring them in and maybe get a date to record. But next thing you know, everybody's tearing down like shit. Yeah. We didn't even get halfway through yet.
Flies by.
We didn't even get to enjoy it.
Right.
So we have fun.
Stick around for the karaoke.
Yeah, we're going to try and get out.
I sang last year.
We're going to try and get out the Ales for Tales, which is today as this episode is being released. I'm not sure if we're going to be out there long. Carmine wants us to come out just a little bit and do something out there, but we'll try and get out there and help him out and support Snort. I think that's the name of the charitable organization. It's called Snort. Do you guys get into doing any collabs with Jason and Jared and all that stuff, and Christian?
There was talk of Gift Horse, Collusion, and Scrubbies getting together, and nothing ever happened. And it still might. I don't know Jared. It's and I'd like to meet him. I've heard great things about him. I think I love his beer.
Oh, you walk in there and you see that huge board. It's like, wow, what do I get?
Yeah. So I'm not really networked with a lot of the brewers like a lot of other brewers are.
Well, you're also not downtown York.
There's that. And I'm still relatively young to the area as a brewer. We're 3 years old. So luckily, Jason kind of took me under his wing early. And he's kind of, walked me around. We've brewed together and done, collabs and stuff together, which has been monumental for me, really. Because otherwise, it'd be me and Chuck, and I probably wouldn't know too many other people. Because as a home brewer, I did not talk to anybody. I was out there all by myself trying to figure it out. I didn't join the clubs. I didn't compete. I was really just making beer to drink for myself and my friends. And to an extent, I kind of still feel that way. It's beer for myself and my friends, and I would love to. Widen my brewery network and become more involved with that.
Well, down in your area, do you know Matt and
I do, and
Brad and those guys?
Yep.
And is it Gary, Greg over?
It's Greg.
Greg over at Black.
Yeah, so I know those guys. Yeah. But we don't hang out like Jason and I hang out.
Right.
And Greg and I talked about collabing 3 years ago. When I had just opened, and we never revisited it. So I don't know what's going on there. And Bert and I never really approached it, but we should. I can walk over there. I might as well do it.
Yeah, you get Chuck involved. Yeah. You get some of the scabs involved down there. Herbison puts out. We still talk about that freaking key lime pie. Key lime pie. Yeah. That was out of this world.
Yeah, I don't know what he's bringing to Yorktoberfest. I'm pretty sure him and Rebecca will be there. I don't know if they'll bring that or not. That's a good one.
Well, I think after he had it here, he said this has been sitting in the keg a while. I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, Jim's a good brewer.
Yeah,
Jim does a good job.
I think after having you guys on as home brewers, which you guys could all be in Emery's place doing your own brick and mortar. You got CNC; they could be doing their own brick and mortar, which I think they're still searching for theirs.
So,
wish them luck. And meeting some of the other home brewers out here, it's like, you guys put out some great beer.
Yeah. Try.
It's just unfortunate it's coming all out of one pocket. It's nothing going in the other pocket. That's the only downside to brewing
But he can go to Maryland for it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Go to Patterson Park. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We're kind of
It's cheaper to homebrew.
Well, that's what my wife thought too.
I think it's harder to homebrew.
It's harder. You can make it
a
as
small mistake is a big mistake.
Is a big mistake.
Is a homer,
yeah.
I think.
And you can make it as easy or as hard as you want to.
Yeah. So my next recipe, besides the cream ale, I have the grains for it is a red IPA.
Cool.
And when we had Desperate Times on here, he brought his Desperate Measures, which is a red IPA, and it's really good. It's not very hoppy forward, which is very drinkable beer. I'm like, not a lot of people are doing reds, so I'm gonna do a red IPA. Didn't brew it yet. We'll see what happens. I mean, I did an English IPA, and I that turned out really good. Like, I think we're getting ready to sample here before we end the show, which is your style to that. It was malt forward. It was not hoppy at all. Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good. Yeah.
Speaking of, I think when we had Emery on, I think before you got home that night, you're like, dude, I have an idea. We need to do like an ESP.
Was that on the way home?
Yeah, it was. By the time you got home, you texted or called back.
We threw around a couple good ideas that day.
So I did do an ESB recipe, and I don't know if you had any of it when we were down at Brewkids, because I had just kegged it and brought it in.
I think I did have that, because I know I had it somewhere, and I thought it was at Winterfest.
It was at the Winter Brew Fest.
Okay.
So I had it there, and I went over. I think Jason was the first one, and Jason like, well, I don't want to try that yet. And I'm like, well, just give it a try. I said, and I kind of laid it thick on him. I was like, hey man, I said, Snitz Creek wants to brew a beer. We just did one with Sign on the Horse. Come on, dude, you and I are friends. What the fuck? So instead of Jason and I doing, let's do a collab and do this pub ale.
You want to do that?
You want to do it?
Okay, so I started looking into it. I started to develop a recipe. It's like, damn, this looks familiar. My Deadwood Pale Ale is an ESB. So the difference between a pale ale and an ESB is the origin of your hops and your grains. And I'm using, I forget what I'm using in there, but they're all European.
That's all my stuff was all European stuff.
So my pale ale is an ESB. I'm like, well, I can stop right here.
You already got it.
It is it. But yeah, sure. Come up with a different recipe. We'll make another one.
I got the recipe. I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah, let's check it out.
See and compare the notes to yours.
Yeah, I got real far. Like I was almost dialed in. I was like,
because we were like, and we had mentioned you can't call it a bitter. Nobody's going to buy a bitter.
No.
And it's a style I'm starting to see. There's more people doing bitters or pub ales, and I see it more and more. Mm-hmm. Some of the English milds are coming back. Mm-hmm. Some of the more common traditional styles I'm starting to see on taps elsewhere. And not, IPAs are always going to be there, but I don't see the real thick smoothie sours right now.
They're dying.
Yeah,
I think it was a fad that's on its way down. Unfortunately, I think some of the peak in the bubble in Pennsylvania, at least, may have topped off. I don't know if we're seeing a lot of big growth because there are some closing. I mean, when one closes, there's another one opening up somewhere.
Yeah, I read a stat, and I can't remember what it is, but I'm going to say this was the first year in a long time where more breweries closed than opened.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And that's really sad.
I mean, it was we've had a boom the last couple of years. It was a huge boom. I hope people find it and continue to find what you guys are kind of doing. This craft industry, whether it's beer, wine, ciders, meads, whatever, distilleries, and find it that it's a much better product than the mass-produced stuff that you can go to the store and get.
The audience will always be there.
Yep.
And a lot of people say that, it's too saturated. There's too many breweries. I don't think that's the case. No. I think that people love the variety that, with Black Cap and Sign of the Horse opening in our town and the Shine Shack, everybody's like, oh, that's going to hurt your business. I'm like, no, it's not going to hurt our business. No. That's going to draw people into town. They're going to come hit all of us.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, with Liquid Hero moving out of their original tap room to the corner where nothing has been able to really survive.
Ooh, boy. They'll survive there, though.
Yeah. I think they will, because they're well established now. and I'm hoping that works. But my wife and I were in town when we took the vet out one night, and we were walking down, and I'm like, oh, George Street Brewing.
Oh yeah, right next to Gift Horse.
So like a half a block down, I'm like, oh, let's go in there. Well, here they're doing Penn Brewing.
Yes,
Which they're doing basically a contract brew.
Yeah.
Talk to the guys like, hey, it's a cool little place. You did a lot of renovation to that. I'm hoping it works. I really do. Because downtown you work, kind of like downtown Redline. You need this stuff to help boom the community.
Yeah.
yes, especially when you're not in a city.
Yeah.
You need a destination. I remember being part of these borough organizations. They're like, you need people to spend 3 hours in your town to be a destination.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out how to get people to spend 3 hours in Dallas town.
Wing bus.
Yeah. Just drive around town. It's hard to do though, And
It is hard.
Now with 3 or 4 legit locations, people will do that.
Is there? Do you see anything else coming down in that way, like Dallas Town, Redline area?
I am not aware of anything new.
Okay.
Right.
No, I haven't heard of anything.
Chuck, when he opens his place, that'll be big.
There'll be another one down there. One Black Mutt.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I'm not a swimmer. I can't hold my breath
Don't
long.
hold your breath.
Guys, look, hey, I really appreciate you guys coming up here
Of
and
course.
sitting
Oh,
in
no,
again.
not a problem. Not a problem.
Get the boat out and go home.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like when we did a lot of recording in the spring, it rained a hell of a lot.
Yep.
And here we are in the middle of summer, like, damn, we need more rain, but we didn't need it all at once. We didn't need,
So we can blame the drought on you guys.
kinda, because even when I had my 4th of July party, it was hot and no rain, and I guarantee it was going to rain, and it rained on my party. A torrential downpour.
That's a gift.
Yeah, I do have a gift sometimes. Sometimes that gift isn't so good. Dave, any last comments?
No, this was interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the
IPA.
no. That's not what was in these 2 glasses there.
Yes, it was. One of them was the
You did enjoy
IPA.
it.
Yeah.
You're right, over here. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they're over here.
The
Lebowski's.
Oh,
Lebowski line.
Yeah.
Yes. They were enjoyable. I enjoyed this.
Oh, cool.
But it's different because a lot of times when we do these, it's all beer. And,
We've had some distilleries on.
we've had but I said sometimes when we do these,
Yeah,
it's
it's all
mostly
beer.
all,
It's all
all
beer.
beer. And it's just and his distilleries are good too.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing the distilleries. So we should have another distillery on.
Yeah. Actually,
do Shine Shack. Well, you've already had
already,
Yeah,
You can get Carl in here.
I enjoyed. I mean, even when we had Hidden Stills on here, and I'm not a bourbon drinker, but that David E stuff, man, that was really good shit. That was smooth. That was I actually drank some more of that not long ago.
Yeah, it's
really good.
it's enjoyable. Yeah.
Actually, I know where it was. Sally and I went out to eat, and
Yes.
I wanted to try the select. In the red, they had select, like they selected the barrels, and the one I asked for was a Buffalo Trace. They were out of it, so I'm like, give me the David E. So I drank it. I drank 2 shots of that at $35.
Yeah.
I
Could have bought my own bottle for that.
I want to go back there.
Oh, that's a phenomenal. Have you guys ever been there?
No.
It's
I
very
would
nice.
I
recommend.
don't think so.
No.
Take your better halves. It is a phenomenal place. The food is out top notch. Very good food. I had to go try it out because when we had him on, he was talking about an executive chef for their food. We had ahi nacho tuna,
I'd like to
tuna nachos as an appetizer. My wife devoured them. And then I had a mahi enchilada over saffron rice.
Is it Mexican?
It was
Centric?
everything
Really?
was
Okay.
whatever they could get.
Wow.
It was phenomenal. Food was great.
Hidden Stills. Where are they located?
Hershey.
Hershey.
Okay. I don't think I've been there.
They got a pretty nice
It's
website.
a nice facility too. Yeah.
You could log into their website. You, can see
You
a
guys
lot
got hidden stills down there, right?
We do have the red.
Okay.
Red bourbon.
So I'll
we
put you
had
in
some-
touch with
we have
Cody.
the vodka too, I think.
I'll put you in touch with Cody and say you're doing some research
Yeah.
development.
Little R&D.
Yep. A little more R&D.
Guys, anything that you guys want to share last before
Come to Brewkids.
Come bowling.
Brewkids?
Yeah.
Come bowling.
Come
down
bowling.
in-
Come to
Join the
Scrubbies.
league.
Come to Scrubbies.
Lion Bowl
Lion Bowl
Lion
and Red
Bowl.
Lion.
Yeah.
Yep.
in Red Line. I think the last time I kept calling it Red Lion Bowl, but it's just Lion
just
Bowl
Lion
and
Bowl.
Red Line.
Lion Bowl.
Yep.
Do they do glow bowling and that kind of stuff? there?
So we have all you can eat pizza bowl on Fridays. I forget what the price is. It's a good deal. And then Glow Bowl is Saturdays.
Okay.
And then there's another deal on Sundays. They're always doing deals over there.
When is all you can drink?
That's at my house on Friday night.
After you're done brewing.
Halfway done. Halfway done brewing.
Yeah, that sucks
all right.
when you are brewing and you're sitting there drinking and then you get to the end. Like, God, maybe
I usually try to get to clean up
Yes.
before I start.
Yeah.
I've been there and it's like, why did I drink that 16% Belgian triple before we cleaned up?
I got to be done. I got to be clean up.
Yeah.
Clean up. It's time to drink. But yeah, not while I'm brewing. Ugly things happen.
Yes. Yes, they do.
That's funny.
How much did I just put in there?
Exactly.
What's that gravity reading? That was funny when I went to pull this out and put it in the keg, and I'm like, well, shit, it's still fermenting. I went down, I could see, I'm like, crap, I'm ready to. This has been a little over 2 weeks. I cold crashed it. I'm like, I gotta stop this fermentation. I think what it was when I put it into secondary, because I did it old school this time. When I put the extracts in there, it was still enough sugar for fermenter for the yeast to
Kick the
start.
yeast off again.
Yeah,
Well, you have
because
some
when I put it
residual.
into secondary, it was at 1.010. When I took my next gravity reading, it was 0.10 or 1.012. So it went up.
Yeah.
That was the number I needed to get to anyhow. So, and it stabilized there after I cold crashed it. Like I'll cold crash.
Just don't let it get hot.
No.
No, it's in the kegerator.
Yeah.
As long as my kegerator still works and cools, we're good. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And they can find Scrubbies at Red Line at Lion Bowl. One
That's
Black
correct.
Mutt. We're not giving out his address.
You can see Chuck over there.
Yeah.
Chuck,
well,
You can check me out
don't
on
tell
Facebook.
the PLCB.
I'm on Facebook.
As One Black
One
Mutt.
Black Mud is on Facebook.
Okay.
Yep, you can check me out there. So, yeah.
All right. And
Yep.
I believe this one is your beer, Chuck.
Yes, this is an English ale. I took this to Patterson Park last year, and it was. I used Wild Turkey 101 and French oak chips, and
Okay.
put that in secondary. And everybody down there said you got to use Sagamore rye whiskey. Everybody's like, you
I
got to
like
try
Sagamore.
that. So that's what I did this time. It's Sagamore rye whiskey on oak chips, put in secondary. So
Wow. And
Yeah.
what's this one called?
this is called Swagamore.
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 What's your ABV here?
6.4, I believe.
6.4. So this is still very drinkable beer.
Very drinkable. Yeah.
Well, Emery, Chuck, we appreciate you coming out and sitting in here with Dave and I.
Yep.
So
Thank
if you're
you.
out there, we're going to raise a glass with Emery from Scrubbies and Chuck from Black Mutt Brewing, Dave and myself, and the CPP. And let's all be bonded,
Bonded by
by
beer.
beer.
Cheers.